set up ALP events, reach out to speakers, connect with the Student Affairs Chair, who's been also instrumental in this recognition of this award, and also my YP co-chair, who has been super supportive too for all they have continued to do. And also the chapter presidents are not left out. So you guys are the ones that have been helping us communicate with the students to ensure that they also participate, because ALPs are actually designed for them. So today promises to be amazing, promises to be informative, it promises to be engaging. We have two speakers, Toba Ishanhua and Winston Obeneme, who are my colleagues, and I've been opportune to also work with them in one way or the other. And these are fantastic guys. These are people that are vast and are doing so well in the industry. So they will be speaking to us today on the theme of today's event, gaining relevant skills for the energy industry. First, I want to say thank you to both of them for accepting to come do this with us. We don't take it for granted, despite the busy schedule. It's actually weekend where you're supposed to be relaxing and preparing for the week ahead, but you're here with us to come share your wealth of experience and also dissect the topic, because it's one that's very key. As students, you want to know the skills that are relevant so that you can prepare yourself for the energy industry. It's an industry that's always transitioning. So it's important that you're aware of these skills and you're rightly positioning yourself to ensure that you're on track. So thank you so much. I look forward to the session with our two speakers, and also to the students and YPs on the call. Thank you so much for joining on time too. Thanks for joining to come learn and listen. I encourage you, get your notepad and your pen ready, and get as much as possible from these guys. These are people we don't see every day. So ensure that you ask relevant questions, important questions that would help you navigate through school and also prepare you for the industry. So I wish you all the very best. And thanks again to the organizers of this particular event, Ella and Chiamaka, that will also be moderating, and every other person on the call. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ofere. Thank you. Like Ofere also said, this session is packed. So I want you to pay rapt attention, listen, because I believe that it's going to be very useful to you. All right. So we promised the students chapters that we're going to give data to the students that come early. So quickly, not to cause any distraction, if you're a student on this call, I want you to quickly put your name, your student's chapter, and your phone number on the chat box. So we'll be picking the top 10 students at random. We're picking 10 students at random. So quickly drop those details there as I hand over to my wonderful moderator, Chiamaka. So Chiamaka is the chapter president for SPE, University of Calabar. Over to you, Chiamaka. Thank you. Chiamaka, if you're speaking, you're muted.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chiamaka, and I am the SP president of the University of Calabar. I'm in the Department of Geology 300 level, and I am very excited to moderate today's event. And I'm really hoping that we all get and learn a lot from this, because we have been promised a lot and we are really looking forward to it. So right now we are going to go straight to our skill talk. We have two amazing speakers today, and we are really happy to have them. The first is Mr. Olarun Toba, and seeing this biography, I was like, wow, this is we are really happy to have him in this meeting today, and we are really happy to gain from him what he has been. It takes a lot to gain such experience, and him sharing with us under less than 30 minutes is something that we don't see every day. So please, I hope everybody it's really with their pen and their notepads to just gain as much as you can from them today. Then we also have Mr. Wilson. He will be our second speaker for today, and he's also a very seasoned speaker today. I don't have to say so much. You see, seeing, looking at the screen, his biography is amazing. Like when I was trying to compile it, I was like, my God, I'm so happy to be here. And I know that we are also happy. If we are allowed to unmute our speaker, I'm sure I'll be hearing a lot of people screaming, but thank God we did not mute it. So we'll go, we like to invite Mr. Toba to start this, then Mr. Wilson will continue from where Mr. Toba stopped. So I don't know if it's online now. Hello, Mr. Toba. Hello.
Toba, you're muted.
Hello, sir. Mr. Toba, are you on the
He's on
line?
the call.
Okay, sir. Okay,
Yeah,
we'll start
I'm
from.
here.
All right. Sir,
Yeah.
we'll start from you first, then we'll hand over to Mr. Wilson. So I don't know if you are ready for us because we are. So if you are ready for us, we'd like you to start. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. Confirm you can see my screen as well.
Yes, sir. We can see your screen. Please, if you can see your screen, can you indicate on the in the chat box, please? Or with an emoji or a reaction.
So if at any time you can't see my screen again, just let me know.
Okay, sir. Yes,
And then
we
I'll
can see
share.
your screen. Yes.
Okay, good. So good afternoon, everyone. Glad to be here. Thanks for the opportunity to share with students and as many who have joined the session. So if you had looked at my biography, um, I deliberately included the fact that when I was in the university, I was the publicity secretary for my student chapter, and then I had the opportunity to present papers at the STCE. So SP has been a part and parcel of me right from the beginning, and so I count events like these as a privilege, not just for myself but for you as well, to continue to learn together and network and develop ourselves. Right. So this afternoon, I'm going to be sharing a little bit about some aspects of the energy industry. We'll look at the key energy sectors. I'm just going to identify amongst so many a couple of key occupations, and then we'll look at some of the skills. So what are employers looking for? What do you, as a student right now, need to start building yourself in? What do you need to start acquiring in terms of knowledge and skills? And then the final thing is knowing the energy sectors, knowing the skills that people are looking out for. What then should you do? And then, of course, we would have the Q&A session. So I did a little brief of categorization of the energy subsectors. We have the renewables, which I mean we've been hearing a lot about these days. Um, of course, there's the aspect in terms of electricity. So whether it's in terms of generating electricity, transmitting or distributing, it's a key sector or subsector in the energy industry. And I mean, in the next couple of years, it's going to blossom much more than what we know currently. And of course, there's the famous oil and gas, which everyone has always been talking about for years. Then we have the nuclear, probably not very popular in Africa, maybe except in South Africa. Um, but in other countries of the world, it's quite popular. Coal is also a significant part in Australia, in India. Um, a huge subsector is the coal industry, driving electricity, driving power, and all that. Energy storage is coming up as well. Something we've been hearing about recently, talk about the battery systems, especially as it relates to renewables. So you need to be able to store energy so that you can use it off season. It's going to play a big role in the years to come. And then the last bit is around the energy services. So what I would like to call the consulting aspect, maybe in terms of management, in terms of trading. I put some sort of asterisks to say we all need to know that the world is becoming more and more global. So even though you're a student in Nigeria, you shouldn't say, "Oh, nuclear is not part, is not for me." No, I'm sure if I ask a couple of people, you would want to one day probably work in France or work in some other country. So you need to understand that globalization has opened up the energy industry so much. You can learn, you know, a lot of things. You can acquire a lot of skills. You can go to the UK and begin to work in a nuclear power plant. So don't streamline, your understanding of the energy sector to just oil and gas or coal or the fossil fuels. Yeah. Now, so knowing all of these in terms of the subsectors, so what are some of the key roles or occupations? So I just listed a couple of them. There are many. The list is cannot be exhausted, right? So we have project management managers in terms of project management skills. We have sales or marketing managers in terms of business development. You have people who work in the field workers, whether it's supervisors, whether it is drilling or production facilities. You have the technicians, you have engineers. I mean, cuts across all spheres, whether it is production, mechanical, electrical, civil as well. And you have the data analyst, which is playing a bigger role these days, or the IT specialist. So anything about IT, anything about AI and machine learning as well. Like, of course, you have the subsurface specialist, the reservoir people, the geologists, and all of that. You also even have supply chains when it talks to contracting and procurement. So there's a lot of available opportunities or occupations in the energy industry. And one of the things I'm going to be pointing out in a couple of minutes is you need to have an understanding of this and begin to think, what role would I play in the energy industry? What role can I play? What are my skills? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Where can I develop myself? Where can I leverage on the existing skills I have, so that I or you yourself can also play a big part in a few years to come. So if we looked at the energy subsectors, we looked at the key occupations or roles. The next bit now is to ask ourselves a question. So to play a big role in this energy industry, what then do I need? A lot of people will talk about technical and soft skills. I would rather like to categorize this into four different aspects. So personal skills, people skills, applied knowledge, and the last bit is the workplace skills. So in terms of personal skills, this has to relate with you as a person, integrity, the ability to take initiatives, your being reliable, and all of those things are things you need to build now, especially for people like us who are involved in SPE. Probably, for example, you have a role in SPE, you have some events you've taken a part of, or you've played some significant roles in some activities. Were you reliable? Are you dependable? You know, did you exhibit professionalism? And these are skills that we need to take note of. For some of us back then in those days, we really didn't have a very good understanding of things, and we just focused on, oh, maybe my first class degree, and we thought that was it. But no, you need to begin to build personal skills. You need to have a good reputation. It follows you. I did my internship in Shell about 14 years ago, assessed internship, and I can tell you that if I didn't have a good reputation or question marks about my integrity, I'll probably not come back to work for them. Yeah. I talked again about some of the activities we play. So these are things that you need to build, you need to know, you need to acquire. The second bit has to do with people skills. For the energy industry, this is a big deal. So when we talk about teamwork or collaboration, yeah, so when you come to the energy industry, nobody wants you to play as an individual person, right? So you need to work as a team and you need to start showing those signs. So the fact that, for example, you're a chapter president does not mean that you have the final say and what. We need to see you start to show that you can work with a team, you can collaborate, not just in a particular student chapter, but across all student chapters. And like I said again, I keep repeating it, SPE gives us a good platform to develop these skills. So I mean, a couple of months ago, I know you went for students conference, like STCE and all of that. Opportunity to build collaboration skills, not just focus on the Petro Bowl quiz and all of that. Interact, collaborate, work as a team. Very good. Then, of course, communication. One of our ALP sessions, hopefully, I believe, spoke about communication and presentation skills. You need to start developing it. I know when I was back in university, then we had a course on technical report writing and presentation, and when you do your defense, do not just take it shabbily. That's the platform upon which you need to build on as you enter into the energy industry. So communication, learn how to speak, look for organizations or things that you can make Toastmasters or groups that you can work with and develop what we usually would call your soft skills, your presentation skills, your communication skills, and of course, build respect. Let me just point out that the world is changing. When I was in university, there were some jokes you could crack, or make fun, maybe about ladies or about some people. But now there's a bit around diversity and inclusion. So you need to understand that. You need to be aware. You need to be conscious. You need to be, fully aware of what's happening in the world. Then, of course, the third aspect is the applied knowledge, which you and I would know about, whether you're studying petroleum or engineering or geology or whatever it is. We usually talk about STEM, because science, technology, engineering, maths. Of course, the ability to read and write, because that plays a big role in your ability to perform, ability to read or take instructions and then carry them out. Then, of course, there's a bit around critical thinking. People want to know that you have a solution mindset, and you can see that plays out even in school. In university, you need the opportunities for you to begin to demonstrate some of that analytical skills, especially with data, um, Excel, use of Excel, and I mean, HP again, I keep saying, provides opportunities for us to learn all of that. Do not wait. Some of us waited until we have to school before we started learning some analytical skills, especially with data. You can pick up those skills now. Project management is key, right? You should be able to. We want to see you demonstrate leadership qualities in terms of managing projects. Then, of course, the last bit is around your workplace. So when you begin to work, plan. We want to see that you can plan and organize. You will typically have your SP week in schools, and you're already developing planning skills. You're already developing organizing skills. You're already making decisions. You're already working with tools and technology, with Zoom, with Microsoft Teams. Those things are important. Do not downplay them. Do not focus on one aspect. So I always tell people, and I would like to round up on this slide, that it would be very good as much as possible to acquire as much of these as you can. You might not have everything, and that's the principle of life. As you grow, as you develop, even in industry as a worker, you will begin to learn more and pick up more skills. The last bit is around ethics. So knowing what is right and what is wrong, right? So if you're in university and you're already doing shortcuts and all of that, then you are setting up yourself for failure when you enter the energy industry. So my last slide now says, looking at all of that, so what then should you do? And I just put a couple of points here, amongst so many other things. The first thing is you need to start thinking about where do you want your career to take you. Is it oil and gas? Is it IT? Do I want to play in the coal industry? Remember, I said it's a global village these days. Do you want to go into power generation? Do not downplay it and think, oh yeah, power or electricity is not important. That's not true. So decide where you want your career to take you. The next bit is to stay informed, follow industry news and trends, right? We are in a digital age, so you have access to social media and information. Please stay informed, follow industry news, follow SP activities, spend time on Google, know what is happening. That way you can stay informed and then you can know where you need to update or upgrade yourself, so to speak. The third bit is to develop technical, analytical, and soft skills. And we've talked about that a bit. But what I would like to say is that there's several opportunities, whether it is with some free courses, even some courses that are paid for but not so expensive for you as a student, whether it is in some opportunities to serve. So if your chapter president is looking for people to help him organize SP, you need to do that. My first interview with Shell, all my discussion for 15 minutes was centered around my role as a publicity secretary. And we were just discussing, they were asking me questions. Oh, how was it? What were the challenges and all of that? So don't ignore that. Be involved in your student associations. Be involved in some of those activities that can help you, acquire some of those soft skills and technical skills. Take up courses as much as possible. So when your chapters organize courses, I expect to see a huge turnout. Right? Be there. Those things are free, and you need them now. Do not wait. Like I said, for some of us who waited too long before we began to acquire some of those skills. The last two bits: network, attend conferences. So you are in this mega ALP. That's an opportunity to network. That's an opportunity to learn more. We had a YP symposium some time back. You need to play a big part. You need to be there. You need to network. You need to know what is happening. You need to see, look at the leaders. They are your role models. Look at how they are carrying themselves. Look at how they are speaking. And that can challenge you to do better, or to push yourself to learn. The final bit is to be adaptable. Be willing to learn. Be willing to update your knowledge and skills. Do not let money, for example, be an excuse, or do not procrastinate. Right? Start learning now and update yourself in terms of knowledge and skills. So that's all from my end in terms of the energies sectors, in terms of the skills you need to know, you need to have the knowledge, you need to know, you need to acquire, so that you can play a big role in the energy industry. I will stop there for now. Maybe later on when we have the Q&A, we can pick up questions. Thank you so much. Back to you, Chairman.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tuba. I know I'm not the only one that learned a lot. Like, wow, like this is very amazing. I learned so much, but let me just pick a few that really got to me. Mr. Tuba said he said something about we should not we should have a good reputation. Okay, like we should have good reputation. He talked about integrity, how it helped him when he went to get his job. He talked about teamwork too. Yes, these are the things that they don't teach us in school as students, and most of us just neglect it. And hearing it from a professional, that's really mean a lot. That means like SP is not really, they're really giving us a platform to work together as a team. And like these are skills that we take for granted, and just it playing out here, right here, like it can really help us in our career. And you talk so much about being adaptable, being able to learn something new every time. That was really, really amazing, Mr. Toba. And we really, oh my God, like the comment section is blowing up, and we are really happy to hear this from you. And for those joining us, don't worry, you are not late. We are still on it. We just finished with our first speaker, Mr. Toba, and it has been really an amazing time with him. So for those that are joining, we'll still briefly read out his biography so that you get to know a little about him. Okay. Mr. His full name is Olaroton Toba Ishehanwa. I hope I got it right. Okay. Sorry, sir. Okay.
Toms, can you just pronounce that name for us?
Oh my
So my name is
God.
my name is Olorun Toba Isheunwa.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Okay. All right. He's a graduate of petroleum engineer from the University of Ibadan. He graduated with a first class honor. Wow. Okay. He also had the opportunity to serve as a student chapter publicity secretary, as well as presenting paper at the SPEST CE. He joined Shell in 2013 as a drilling engineer. He have worked for several years as a drilling supervisor with experience supervising drilling, completion, and workover operations in different terrains, including HPHT gas delivery. Currently, he's the Well Learning and Capacity Development Advisor for Shell Company in Nigeria. He's involved in the capacity development of well staff, designing learning solutions to improve the competence of all well engineering staff. He's a coaching champion, of course, like from his lecture today. He's a coaching champion of the Global Share Round 1 and 2 examination for well engineers, and an accredited IWCF instructor. conducting well controlling training and assessment for field supervisors and drilling engineer. He is also a certified trainer with advanced drilling and well control stimulators and a well SME slash lecturer with the SPDJ Center of Excellence, University of Benin. He's passionate about mentoring and training new technical professionals. So thank you so much, sir. We learned a lot. We learned so much. Okay, we'll be taking, don't worry for those dropping their questions on the chat box. We are going to take your questions. We just want to move straight to the second speaker. We'll take all the questions at once, all right? So both for Mr. Wilson and for Mr. Toba. So now, our next speaker is Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson is a trained mechanical engineer with enthusiasm for digitalization. He enjoys automating and simplifying processes and helps others do the same career. He has worked as a he's currently working as a citizen development implementation lead in Shell UK. That's 2023. He have worked as a production engineer in Shell Nigeria from 2018 to 2023. He was a research engineer slash developer at engineer slash development at Cyber Crescent Limited from 2016 to 2018. Then his personal interests. Oh wow. He loves to spend time with his family. He study about faith. He likes to eat good food, dance when he can, engage in daily sporting activities, and he loves trying new things. Then his educational background. He has a bachelor he's a bachelor of engineering in mechanical engineering from the University of Port Harcourt, and he has a master. Okay, he's actually studying for his master's in mechanical engineering in the University of Port Harcourt. So without further ado, we'll love with great joy in our hearts for Mr. Wilson to take over will I say podium now? All right, Mr. Wilson, over to you, sir.
Thank you. Confirm you can hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Please, if you can hear him, can you indicate with a reaction or drop a chat?
I'll just go ahead to share my screen.
All right, sir, we can hear you, sir.
Okay. So let me share my screen. Let me know when you can see my screen as well.
Okay, sir.
Can you see it?
Okay, yes, sir, we can see your screen now. Yeah.
Right, some of this. All right, so nice to meet everyone, and thank you so much for the privilege. Thank you also, Toba, for teaching us. That was really lovely, and good to meet everyone. I think you've gone through who I am. I like trying new stuff, and this was one of the things I've tried. I went skydiving, and I think it's one of the most amazing moments I've had in my life. Quite scary, but it was fun at the end of the day. So try new things when you can. Okay, so I'll just go straight to so many screens on. Sorry, trying to hide some of this. Okay, is it still visible?
Yes, sir, it's still visible. You can see your screen, sir.
Okay, thank you. So I tried to make the slide as simple as possible, just one pager. Toba already talked to us about so many skills under 4 categories. For me, I decided to do a reverse engineering to that. So most times in schools, we are taught how to pick up technical skills mainly, and then probably a few courses here and there to help us sharpen entrepreneurship, communication, people skills, and all of that, which is very important. But just like Toba alluded to, in the industry, we have most times, sadly to say, you don't do all the time. You don't do the technical work all the time. You have other skills you need to build that are very important to your progress. And I'll be speaking on ways to build some of these practical skills and experiences. For me, I would like to start with the right mindset. So why is it important to start with the right mindset? For most people, if you ask what is the goal, it's graduate with the first class, which is not bad. I graduated with the first class as well. For other people, is have a great job after school. That's still not bad. But the problem most times with that kind of mindset is when you achieve that, there's this tendency you will relax because I've gotten what I wanted. I wanted a good result. I wanted to work with a big company. I wanted a good salary. While those things on their own, they are not bad, but they can be limiting at times. So one of the lucky things I think I stumbled into, which most times we are not taught in school, is how to build the right mindset. And most of the things, if you're building a right mindset, it should be a mindset that is continual, right? It's not, there's no destination in view. It's a journey, right? And I'm sure some of us who've heard about the growth mindset. Dr. Carol Weck, by I think 2006, she wrote a book on titled Mindset, the New Psychology of Success, right? And there she talked about the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. With your fixed mindset, most times what happens is you look at what you're comfortable with. And if you're a very smart person in school, it's like, oh, I just need my technical skills to succeed. I am a very talented person. That is all I need. And it can be limiting. It can be limiting. While a growth mindset tells you that, oh, I am good here now, but I can be better. I know how to do A and B and C, but I can do better. Now, the advantage about thinking in that way is even when you get to where supposedly you would like to be, you don't stop. You keep developing. And in an industry like ours, just like Toba said, it is constantly changing. Constantly changing. And sometimes you see some people struggle with that transition. And because the mindset has always been get into Shell, for example. And once you're in Shell, it's like, okay, I'll just go with the flow. But what I would like to encourage students to do is move beyond the good job, move beyond the good grade to, I want to be a valuable person. There's a mindset to it. And if you can develop that mindset, I have to tell you, it takes a bit of time, mostly in a country like Nigeria, because truth be told, things are hard and we want good jobs. And so sometimes we're so fixated on a good job and it limits us sometimes. So if you can build the right mindset, then we can go to the next part. How do we build this mindset? Which is very key. Like I said, sometimes it takes a bit of time to do that. You need to, I try to just bring out these three steps. There are different frameworks that people use to build learning and build their skills. For me, this has worked for me. The first thing is the desire, that constant drive to know more, that constant, okay, I am good now here. What else can I learn? So in that way, you are preparing for the future. So it's not a skill just for today, but what skill can I build for tomorrow? Because tomorrow will come. And if you're so used to building a skill just to get into the oil industry or the energy industry, when that industry begins to transition like we are seeing now, it might be difficult for you to get new skills, to upskill actually. So you need that constant desire. Then you need the discipline. Starting things, it's not particularly easy. So if you need to set alarms, set alarms. If you need a study partner, if you need accountability partners, if you need a mentor, and I'm saying these things because they helped me a lot and they are still helping me. Sometimes I just go to my mentor to ask him, okay, what can I do better? And then he lists a lot of things. And I'm super excited. I don't feel limited. I feel like there's an opportunity. So you need to set the right things in place, a friend to talk to, surround yourself with the right people, build a disciplined lifestyle around building skills, because you will need it not just now. When you get into the industry, you will see that most times there's a lot for you to do. And it is this discipline of doing, okay, constantly doing the right thing that will help you be outstanding, because you actually need to be outstanding sometimes to keep your job or sometimes to get a promotion. And then it goes to the last stage where it's now a delight. For some people, they have gotten to this stage where it's no longer work to learn something new, right? The discipline stage, it takes a lot from you because it is not what your body is used to. It's not what your mind is used to. What your body is used to is 2 days before exam, do a crash course and read everything and pass the exam, but it is not sustainable. And when you start building new sets of skills like discipline, it takes time. But you get into the phase where now you're so delighted to learn new things. And fortunately for some of us, that is where we sit. So if there's a new technology, irrespective of what business I work in, my mindset is I need to learn, I need to upskill, because if it's coming, it's coming. For example, ChatGPT, there are lots of discussions around that, AI and all of that. The truth is, it is coming. And if you don't know how to transition with that, you will be left behind. The difference between you and the next person might not necessarily be how smart you are. It might be that discipline, that excitement to learn new things, because the businesses are evolving. And then that leads to the next set, the skills forum. Just like Toba, I think he gave more categorization to this, but just to speak on this, the domain knowledge, whatever you're studying, petroleum engineering, mechanical engineering, IT, you need to be a boss in that area. You need to own it. You need to learn it, because that is what you're bringing to a workplace at first. Most times, I know some people have career changes, but if you're passionate about what you are doing, you need to build strong domain knowledge. Don't cut corners. It will come back for you. So my advice is pay the price now in school, pick up these skills. By all means, learn it. Listen to your lecturers, get more books. And the mistake I think a lot of people do is because you're in a country, you try to only develop yourself to be just good for that country. No, it's a global scale. There's a global world. It's world globalization. We have one village now, one community. So you need to, even if you're doing so well academically, that should not limit you from going further, because what you might be learning might be good for just your environment. But if you need to go global, if you need to go international, then you need to start getting domain knowledge as recently as possible across board. It's a lot of price to pay, because it might not show up in your exam. So it might be, okay, why am I wasting my time? But you're not wasting your time. The next set of skills, digital skills. Now, in every business, in every role, I think if you look out for some roles, you always see things like be proficient in Excel and PowerPoint. That is because digitalization is an enabler to do your job, irrespective of what you're doing. Be you HR, be finance, be an engineer, petroleum, whatever discipline, the digitalization skill is an enabler to do whatever you want to do. So it's something you need to pick up. You might not be a programmer, and part of what I'm doing for Shell now is what the program we call citizen development. So what we are doing is we are training everyone in our business to use low code, no code platforms to develop applications to solve their own problems in their business domain. In fact, coincidentally, I and Toba, we connected 2 weeks ago because there's a business domain and he's upskilling himself. We want to solve that. It doesn't, and at the end of the day, there will be this fancy app or flow that will take away most of the routine jobs. And that is the right mindset. It's not specific to any discipline. So it's not something to say, oh, I'm not an IT person. No, build skills. The same way Excel and PowerPoint and Word are utilized today, the next sets are coming. Your Power Platforms, Power Automate, Power BI for data analytics. Everybody does data analytics these days because your business, you need insight. So you need to find a way to develop such skills. Problem-solving skills. This is very essential because this is where businesses thrive, right? If you come into a business environment, your ability to see problems and solve them, it adds so much value to the business and to yourself, actually. The misconception people have about solving problems is like, okay, I'm working for this company. Is that company's problem? Yeah, it might be the company's problem, but you being able to solve it, you're actually improving yourself. You're improving your personal brand that is not tied to any company. It's tied to you. It's you. So if you go into another organization, that same ability to solve problems is there. So there are different frameworks you can read on them, on problem solving, how to ideate, design, and all of that. So I'll advise after this, just go on Google. They're all there. Design thinking. These are ways to help you see problems and solve them. Then communication is very key. Sadly, back in school, like I said, we focused more on the technicalities of things, which is not bad. But your ability to communicate effectively is as good as what you have to offer. You can have a fantastic product and you don't know how to communicate that. they will rather go with someone who has a poor product but communicated effectively. So in a nutshell, these are very important skills that I think everyone should think about, build the right mindset, build a pattern around building skills, and then domain, digital, problem-solving, communication. Now, how can we acquire these skills? Internships, very important. Just like Toba, I got into Shell through the assessed internship as well. I did that in my 400 level, and by God's grace, after graduating, I resumed with Shell. Good opportunity. So before coming in, I already had more or less an industrial perspective of work. And then there was this internship I gave myself when we were on strike for, I think, for a while. I personally went to a mechanic workshop to learn from them. It was not paid. Nobody sent me to do it. But I realized that there was this dichotomy in terms of what we learn in class and what we understand physically, right? So the academic, those in academia most times feel like those practicing, some of them, not everybody, they don't know what they are doing. Come to us, we'll teach you. And if you go to the mechanic in your workshop, he'll be like, your education is useless to him. And you're like, how? He'll show you a piston. You're a mechanical engineer. You've never seen a piston. You don't even know how the thermodynamics you're studying, how it works in real life. So I went for that internship. Like I said, no one sent me. I went by myself. And by the time I learned from them, okay, this is what, all those parts we've been designing in school. Look at how they actually work. By the time I came back to class, I was a different person because now I have seen most of the parts. I've seen the interaction, though they did not explain the physics and the engineering completely. But that is why we had school. Then our lecturers did a fantastic job. So both of them, I learned a lot. So I would advise you, please, as much as possible. I know internships, most times we need payment. By all means, get if it's available. But if it's not there, take unpaid internships to learn as well. Volunteering, projects, volunteer as much as you can handle. Don't overburden yourself. But if you have the capacity to stretch, please do that. It is good for your CV. It is good for your experience. It's good for your knowledge. By volunteering for multiple products or projects, you get insight into what it means to project manage, to work with a team, which we are not particularly used to in school. Most times it's me, my good grade. But in the real world, it's a team. And by volunteering, you start picking those people's skills, integrity. So people can trust you with projects because you have a track record of delivering projects. Collaborative projects. So the reason why I put this here is I'm trying to bring you, I'm trying to sell you the idea of international collaboration, even while in Nigeria. Very key. Like I said, most times we're just so comfortable within our environment. But if you go online, there are lots of projects you can collaborate on. They are open source projects, and this doesn't have to do with IT, right? There are projects where people are looking for volunteers to join. Collaborate on these projects. They improve your profile and your knowledge. So don't limit yourself to, oh, I'm in Uniport, so every project I have to do must be in Uniport. No, find people in Unilag, in Uniben, collaborate with them. Find people, if you're fortunate enough, write people on LinkedIn, look at their profiles and say, oh, I can see you posted this project. Even if it's the data analysis part that I can do remotely from Nigeria, it is collaboration. You're delivering at an international scale, even while in school. That is massive for you. Attend competitions, hackathons. So there are different companies that set up different things at different times. Volunteer to go for these things if it fits into your schedule. Like I said, all of this, you know why you're in school. But as you're in school, try building these things there. Because when you get into the real world, it doesn't give you time to, oh, let me learn so much. Yeah, probably certain roles can, but most of them really want you to start delivering. Even if you're in a graduate program, imagine yourself delivering for a company, even as a trainee. That is massive for you, really massive. And you need to start building those skills. Freelancing, I think most people who do freelancing now are graduates, but even as an undergraduate, you can start freelancing. Like I always say, still manage your time. If you can take it, please, by all means. These are some few avenues. There are many more, but I felt like this very informative and practical because I did most of this while even in school. I tried to do these things and they helped me not just understand how things work, but working in a team, communicate effectively. And I believe if we go through this process, and practice them. Like I said, some of these things take time, and don't be hard on yourself. It's a learner's mindset, right? Okay, I didn't get it today. I'll keep trying till I get it. And I think that will help every one of us. So I think I'll leave it at this point. Just wanted to make it as concise as possible. Thank you. Back to you, Chiamaka.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wilson. And my God, our chat was almost blowing up. Oh my God, we are also excited, and I am very excited. And my God, you said a lot of things, and I was able to just get down some that really got not just, now we are so busy focusing on just because, for example, we are in Nigerians, we are just looking for relevant skills in Nigeria, but we just forget that there are places outside Nigeria that we can be, and it's very possible, and that most times, and I know that a lot of thinking about that, and thank you so much, Protocol Section, for giving us this platform to volunteer. Thank you for today's event. We are really glad that we are part of it, and we can for always reminding us about some of these things, and we are really happy that you shared some of these with us. So quickly, we are going to go straight to questions and answers. Please, if you have questions, you can drop it on the chat box. Sorry, because of time, we will not be able to take all, but we can take the few we can. So, okay, Mr. Wilson, since you're already here, let me just start with you. We have some questions, and we will really like you to help us with them. So the first question to you, Mr. Wilson, is what are the kinds of projects students should engage themselves in order to develop their skills? Because I know we have some skills we have gotten from SP events, and the ones we've gotten personally, and plus the ones you've mentioned. We want to know if there are projects, or there are some particular kind of projects we can engage ourselves in to develop these skills. So
Yeah, in terms of projects, in school, our advice, look for projects. Like I said, even some lecturers, and this is me thinking, some lecturers have ongoing projects that they work on, right? That are tied to what you're studying. So if you can get hold of them, I think some of them do share. Most times they open it to certain people, but if you can get involved in those projects that are domain specific, I think they are very good, right? Those are some of the projects. Find things within your sphere, because if you're so passionate about it, find things within that sphere, because it will give you more understanding, right, into how things work there. If you can manage it with your school load again. I keep pointing that out because I don't want you to chase a lot of projects and then miss out on school, please. But if you can, so work on those projects. Another kind of project I think you can work on, which I feel is very open, is data analytics projects, right? Data is the new oil. That's what we always say. It's a very valuable asset. The world has gotten so much data. People are looking for people to analyze those data, right? They want insight into that data. So there are some open source platforms that if you Google, you'll see all of this, right? Find a way to get those data and then work on things. And it might not even be to work for a company. It might be just to share with your fellow students. So back in school, I organized some tutorials. No one sent me, right? I wasn't paid for it. But I found out that the more I taught people the things I know, the more I understood them even better. So I tried to be creative around passing some of the ideas I had using small projects. So my advice is find projects with respect to data analytics as well. I think it's very important. And then anything in project management, schedule, planning, those things I think you use them across board any industry you work in. So find things within your domain, find things with data analytics, I think is a good place to start. And then things with respect to planning and organization. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful answer. So we have another question here. It says, how can students who have interest in tech balance their
Sorry, you went off
interest
for a
and
second.
pursuit of a career? Hello, sir.
Yeah, okay, come back again. You
Okay,
went off
sorry.
for a
I
second.
said the next. Okay, sir. The next question is, how can students who have interest in technology balance their interest and pursuit of a career?
Okay, I think if I got that, how can students in interest in the technology balance it
In
with a
the energy
career?
industry. Hello, sir.
Okay, in the energy industry. Okay,
Yes,
great.
yes.
Yeah. Like I said, data is our new oil, to be honest. The reason is because you get a lot of insight that helps you optimize your processes and what you do. I'll still point you back to data analytics, right? And you can do data analytics even with Excel. Excel is a very powerful tool, right? So if you don't even know where to start, it's your ability to create pivot tables, visualization, dashboard reports. I think it's a good place to start so that you won't overload yourself, right? But you need to be very open to taking more in the data space if you want to get into that space. For example, I started as a production engineer in Shell, but right now I'm completely in IT, the IT organization, right? Because even while doing my production operations, I was developing products, IT products for my business. So it made it easy, or I added to it when I had the interview. I just showed them what I have done and they were impressed with that. So what my take is, as you look within where you are, right, the energy industry is moving towards data. It's moving towards data because tools and all those things that will help us do our jobs faster. So your ability to get insight, because most of the routine work will be taken away. If you can find a way to generate insight from what is available, then that can help you transition. That can help you be ready for what is coming, even in the energy industry. Generative AI is everywhere. It's been embedded. So understand what those things are and try to, how can I start using them now within my little space? I think that would be very important. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Wilson. Thank you so much. That was a very helpful question. So please, Mr.
Thank you.
Toba, I don't know if you're still with us. We have some questions for you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Mr. Toba, we have a question. We have some questions here. One of them says, what are the relevant skills that students should learn while they are still in school?
Yeah, I think my presentation touched on that, right? So, and then of course Wilson emphasized that as well again. So data analytics, Excel, you know, whether it is advanced Excel or you want to go into the data stuff. Um, some of it you would have to do outside school. I don't know. I remember when I was in school, some of the programming stuff we did was probably obsolete, Fortran and all of that, right? So if you want to learn programming, for example, in school, then you most likely have to go up to some centers. But then again, there's this open online learning, and we've talked about globalization. So you have access to materials online, free materials online where you can go in there and learn. YouTube is there as well. You'll be shocked at the amount of learning you can pick up on YouTube, free of charge. So yeah, so we've talked about many of those skills you can learn. Then of course the soft skills will come from presentation opportunities, um, STC. I remember I was having a discussion with a student chapter some months back when they were preparing for Petrobol, and I told them, I said, instead of waiting for Petrobol every time, and some of all these presentations of STCE, set up a team. Let that be part of your chapter, right? Have a presentation team or a team that focuses on soft skills. And then from time to time, once every month, you can give someone a task. Okay, this guy is going to present on this topic, present on this topic, present on this topic. So as students, you are building skills together, right? Don't wait for one competition before everybody now comes out and starts, you know. So you need to rethink even in your student chapters, look for opportunities where you can incorporate avenues for students to learn and develop themselves, right? And then we're in the virtual world, right? So you don't need someone to come down to Calabar to teach you, or to Port Harcourt, or to you know, you can learn virtually as well. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Okay, we have another question. You and Mr. Wilson have talked about gaining skills, learning skills, acquiring skills. So we want to know some of these credible platforms that students can learn skills for free. Like, are there platforms like that students can actually go and learn skills for free?
So yeah, I mean, there are a lot of them. Um, some free, some not free. There's alicing.com for even professionals. I use EDX. There's Coursera, there's Udemy. You know, although some of them, of course, would charge a little bit of fee. But if you look at it, sometimes it might not be too expensive. Then there's YouTube. You know, I developed a Power BI dashboard for my HR organization, and I learned it using EDX and YouTube. Right, so there are times if I have things to do, I'm working on Power Automate or Power. I just go to YouTube and just Google it, and you see countless number of videos, right? And you can be watching the video and be applying the skill, and that way you learn. So there are a lot of websites you can search for. One thing I would like to say is you need to, in many ways, subscribe. You know that your many social media platforms are, there's this thing about picking out what you are interested in, right? The algorithms. So if you spend time on YouTube watching dance videos, that's what you will likely see. But so what I've done is I've subscribed to a couple of sites or a couple of videos, so that when the learning opportunities, it puts it in my face, and then I know about that. So Stanford, Harvard have a lot of free courses, as well, that you can take advantage of. But if you are not subscribed to those sites, if you don't go to some of those sites, even just Google it. I want to learn Python. Recently, I decided to go full scale into Python programming, and I got a 15-hour free video or something like that, and I've been watching it, and I'm going to mix that with a couple of other sites. So there are a lot of sites. EDX, I've mentioned that. Coursera, LinkedIn has good learning. Allison has a lot of free courses, and then if you Google a couple of them, you would see many of them. Just be careful that when you're googling free courses, you don't go to harmful sites, right? So yeah. But in terms of
Okay.
programming language, I said a question, there probably may be Python, but I'm sure we'll see can answer that question better. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Tova. All right, we have another question here. Okay, someone wants to know. Someone says there are several digital skills online, so he or she would like to know the ones that are related to oil and gas industry. He said he's already planning on starting a skill in data analysis slash analytics, and he wants to know if it's related to oil and gas. So this should be for Mr. Wilson. Yes.
Yeah, a very good question. I think I buttressed that already, because we have lots of data in the industry and the ability to transform our business, which is what we are trying to do in our organization right now, is getting insights from the large data we have. That is something we can say for free. We have a lot of data. So the reason, how can we optimize our processes? From our data, we can study patterns, right? And then come up with those patterns. We can then build um, better products, right? So to keep it simple, please, by all means, continue with data analytics. Python is a very good one, but if you feel Python is difficult, start with Power BI. Power BI DAX is it's like Excel. You don't need to write much. And like Toba said, Google is your best friend. YouTube, I spend a lot of time on YouTube watching people build stuff, right? And that can help a lot. So I think it's a good place to start. It's easy to enter. The knowledge barrier is very little. It's like just developing what you do on Excel. So that would be my take on this.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Wilson, for that amazing answer. And I believe it answered that question very well. So, Mr. Toba, please, there's a question here, and I don't know. I think it's directed to you. Someone is asking, what programming language would be recommended for a new energy exercise to learn? That's someone that is newly getting interested in programming language. What skills should the person start with? Or what's the first programming language the person should start with? Thank you, sir.
I think Wilson answered that already.
Oh,
Python. Yeah, Python is very relevant. Again, it depends on what aspect you're going into. So Power BI is good for data visualization, right? So there's some data visualization tools, Tableau and all of that. But then what I would like to say also is many of that is tied to Excel. So don't limit your knowledge of Excel to just header and rows and column, right? Go advanced, right, and learn a lot of things. You can build dashboards with Excel. And subsequently, when you begin to need to use some of these other tools, because you have a very good knowledge of Excel, it will help you pick up and learn better. But for those who are going full scale into coding and all of that, I think Python is very good. Yeah. So whether it is oil and gas or renewable, it's still the same. It's data like Wilson said, it's the data you're analyzing, right? So it's not, I mean, it's not specific to anything.
thank you so much, Mr. Toba. Thank you so much, Mr. Wilson. It's been an amazing time with both of you. Thank you so much, SP Port Harcourt section, for this event. We wish we had more time to continue, but we have very limited time, and we really appreciate you, Mr. Toba and Mr. Wilson, coming out today for this event. And we hope to have you people in the nearest future for more programs like this, because we really enjoyed ourselves. So please, participants online, I hope I'm speaking for all of us. Please, if you can hear me clearly, can you just indicate with a reaction or with an emoji? Okay, we are still here, sir. So we want to tell you thank you so much, sir. Thank you, protocol section. And we we call it a day with you people here. We are not done with the program, but please don't leave, just with the skill talk, all right? So thank you so much, sir. And we continue with our other agenda for the event.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, please, before we continue with the next agenda, please, can we all kindly turn on our camera so that we can take a picture for the event before we move to the next thing? So please, everybody, kindly turn on your camera so that we can take a group photograph, okay? All right. Okay.
Guys, let's put on our cameras.
Please, let's put on our camera.
Let's make a memory out of this session.
Don't want to take
I know that
pictures.
we're going to be doing or trying to incorporate a lot of what our speakers have talked about. So I think you want to, put this in memory. Turn on your cameras. I can see who can I see now? I can see Obona's camera is on. I can see Emmanuel. Emmanuel, nice to see you. I can see Lawrence Okanji. Nice to see you. I can see Godwin Imoren. Charles, I can see you too. I can see Gospa. All right. Simeon, are you ready to take the pictures?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, some video are still coming up. Five seconds more.
All right.
3 seconds. And the last smile. Yeah, we are good.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Toba and Wilson, for agreeing to do this. We can't thank you enough. Okay, guys, thank you also, Chiamaka, for moderating. It's always good to see people like our speakers mentioned. It's good for you to volunteer, and I think it's great. You're already working in the right path, volunteering for things like this. All right. Okay. Without further ado, we will just move on to our next agenda, which is our membership drive. Okay, for those of us that know me, aside the fact that I am the YP co-chair, I'm also a renowned membership drive presenter. All right, so we're going to be having a quick membership drive. Now, I don't know everybody on the call. I don't know if you're an SP member. I don't know if you heard about, you saw the flyer and you said to join, or you are an SP member. I can't say for sure. But what I'm here to do is encourage you, in case you're not an SP member, try and join SP. If you're an SP member and your membership is not up to date, you can reach out to me after now and I will guide you as to how to make that happen, how to renew your membership. Just to make things a lot easy, we're going to have someone here. She has been an SP member since when she was a student, and now she is serving her country. She's doing NYSC. And SP has been an integral part of her growth process. So hearing her story, let's see if it's going to encourage you, take SP more seriously or join SP and become an SP member. Toba already mentioned that he was a publicity executive in his student chapter. Yeah, and that was mostly what was asked during his interview when he wanted to join Shell. For me and Wilson, we were both in the same department, so we didn't have any stints with SPE. Yeah, but at least now we are done with school and we are working and we are members of SPE. So it shows that there is value in SPE. So quickly, I'm just going to give the floor to Itoro to share her story with us. So Itoro, over to you. Hi, Itoro, can you hear me? Okay, you have been assigned co-host ability, so you can unmute.
Okay, thank you very much, Manuela. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with all of you today. It's been a very interesting session so far. Like, our speakers were very detailed in giving us the skills that are needed for the 21st century work environments. So, as earlier introduced, my name is Itoro Kofi, and I'm happy to be with you guys here. I believe the right place to start in this my story is talking about how I became so I was in my 200 level. I heard about how my school, University of Uyo at the time, was hosting the SP student conference, and volunteers were needed. They were asking for volunteers. So the promise was they were going to give us free accommodation and they were going to feed us for the entire duration of the conference. As I had free food, I was like immediately interested. Though. I mean, prior to now, I have not even attended any SP meeting except maybe my 100 level induction, which was compulsory for all students of petroleum engineering at the time. I didn't even know the executive. I didn't know anybody. So anyways, I ended up volunteering for that conference. And that year, SPE Unio ended up doing exceptionally well, especially if I remember correctly in our Petro quiz session. So I immediately fell in love with the organization and I decided that, okay, this is something I want to invest in. This is something I want to be a part of for the rest of my undergraduate degree. So from then on, it's been a roller coaster of executive positions, traveling for events, participating in contests, winning scholarships, and etc. Like literally, the first time I left my state of origin was on a fully sponsored trip to an SP conference in I think it was Abuja, and even my first laptop in school at the time was from one of the winnings of an SP scholarship that I won then. So SP has spiked a lot of interest in me, including like most importantly my interest in research and development. Like many of our speakers here today, I think our first speaker I talked about his experience with writing papers, technical papers, and all of that. So when I declared interest in writing technical paper in 2021, I received like massive support from the Port Harcourt section and even the Nigerian Council at the time. Now, mind you, this was literally my first time participating in any research work. I'd not even done my undergraduate project at the time, but I was having senior lecturers, I was having industry professionals review my work, guiding me on what to do and all of that. It was a really amazing experience to me and an eye-opener to me too. So now SP has also given me the opportunity to like network with senior members and even get access to like mentors that wouldn't have been accessible to like an average student in the university. Even one of my internship opportunities at the time as an undergraduate to one of the major IOCs in the country, it was because an SP member was willing to sign as a sponsor on my behalf. That was how I was able to gain that internship opportunity. And even after graduation, these mentors, they still play like very important role in my life, in my career life, and they are always available to like deliver counseling on if you need answers to your question about like career choices, or to even provide important information when necessary. So like SP gives you this sense of belonging, and like personally for me, but like SP has allowed me to like expand the way I think, like broaden my horizon and even expand my network and interact with people from different schools. I've made a lot of good friends through SPE, people from different companies, people from different background, and even people from like different level of experience. You could SPE is a platform that can allow you to even give you the opportunity to talk to an MD of a very big company. Like that's what SPE actually does for you. So I've been a member for like a little over 5 years now, since my undergraduate days, and I've gained a lot of skills and even enhanced like my existing skills in the areas of leadership, communication, technical knowledge, especially by taking advantage of all the several technical trainings program that SP always like organize from like time to time. And then I mean I can go on and on about this, but just for the sake of time, to make this brief, I'm just going to stop here. So I look forward to seeing more young and vibrant minds take advantage of the different opportunities, the benefit that SP has to offer, and to develop volunteering spirits along the way. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Itoro. Thank you for sharing your story with us. I'm sure that so many of us here on this call are being inspired by your story. All right, so still on membership drive, please, I want someone to confirm that they can hear me because I'm sharing screen, so I can't really say if I'm being heard or if I'm not being heard. So one person can just unmute and tell me if they can hear me. Hello?
Yeah, can hear you.
Okay, that's fine. So still on membership drive, we understand that some of you students, You're in your final year, you're in your penultimate year or anti-penultimate year in school, and very soon you'll be coming to meet us here in the YP space. But there's a general problem that we have seen, and that is most students don't know how to transition from student membership to young professional membership. And for your student membership, it's sort of free, not free per se, but Chevron is paying for it, so you have a sponsor. Young professional membership is sort of paid for, but there are some discounts and benefits which they give people just leaving school that have been SPE members, just to enable them, balance themselves well until they're able to get a job to start paying their young professional membership dues. So automatically, the year after graduation is supposed to be free for student members. So after graduation, once you transition, that year is free. Then the next year, you can write to SP telling them that you're serving your country. So you can also get your NYC year for free. But most people don't know this. So I'm here to just quickly show a brief demo of how you can do that. So we all have our SP login portal, right? So you visit the SP website, you click on the button sign in, you log into your SP account, and you click on membership. Afterwards, okay, excuse me, I will share a separate slide. Give me a moment. Okay, please let me know when you can see my screen. Okay, afterward, you click on renew membership. That is if you're done with school. In fact, even as a student, ensure that every year, at the end of every year, you go to your portal and you click on renew membership. So your membership is reading for you. They know that somebody is actually utilizing this. Most people don't go to their their dashboard. They don't even know what it is. I see this all the time because I help people handle membership issues. So they don't know what it is. They don't even know that they have a certificate for being an SP member. They don't know that they have an ID card for being an SP member. So this is, you can check out your SP dashboard, explore it, and get to understand it a lot better. So when you click on renew membership, both for students and people that want to transition, you click on continue to renewal, and finally you fill the form. So you can see 1 year SP membership free, activates my professional membership, and lifetime membership. So for free, activate my professional membership. That is for students that want to transition. You activate it and you accept the code of conduct, excuse me. After reading the terms and conditions, I know that people will not read the terms and conditions, but accept it. If you can read it, but I'm sure that SP is not going to harm you though, so you can accept it. Then after that, you click on pay now. It's already paid for by Chevron. So what will just happen is that your receipt will be generated, and that's it. If peradventure you're doing this and you're having issues, you can reach out to your student affairs chair, Queen. She is always available to help you. But if peradventure you're not able to reach her, you have my number. You can also reach out to me, and I'm more than happy to help you with this. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining the call. Thank you to our speakers for being here today. We cannot underestimate or overestimate the level of value that you have given us. I mean, most of these things that you talked about today, I wish that I knew them when I was an undergrad student. There are some things that I wish I knew. Maybe I would have done things a lot better, but we thank God. So for those of us that are still in school and you're able to hear this, I want you not to sleep on it. Don't sleep on this information. Make use of it, and you'll see your life drastically progress. Then also, I want to thank our YP chair for this opportunity to chair this particular ALP or to handle this particular ALP. It was a worthwhile experience. Me myself, I'm a project engineer, so I am very open to opportunities that will help me build or hone my project management skills. and that is why I jumped at this. And of course, the satisfaction that comes with volunteering and giving back. So thank you, everyone. I think we can call it an evening. So have a wonderful time. See you at the next Mega ALP.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks for joining. To our speakers, thanks so much for doing justice to the team and answering all our many questions. And to encourage the students, please don't sleep on it. Like Ella mentioned, go back and act. Go back and act, improve, develop yourself and build up the skills that are relevant for the industry. Don't say because I'm a student, I'll wait till I graduate. Start now. Time waits for no man. But thanks so much, guys, for joining. It was great connecting. It was great interacting. And kudos to YP co-chair. She's always doing amazing stuff. I'm so proud of you. And of course, Chair Amaka, fantastic moderation. Thank you so much. All the student chapter presidents on the call, well done. I see your guys. I'm glad you all had a wonderful time. So we'll meet sometime next month where we have another Mega ALP. So continue to encourage your students to participate. And feel free to always reach out if you have questions or there are areas you need clarity on. Thank you all. Toba, Wincy.